Spoilers for the first 3 episodes of Obi Wan Kenobi. Let's get into it. I love this series. Kenobi! I don't even know why I have this with me. This is my review for Top Gun, but no, of course I'm kidding. This is my review for the Kenobi series, and there's a reason why the Obi Wan Kenobi series is different and better from every other Star Wars project we have gotten thus far. First off, let me start by saying I only saw The Phantom Menace before watching this series, and I did not care about Kenobi's character whatsoever. This series completely changed my mind. My favorite character without a doubt was the person who stole the show. Princess Leia as a 10-year-old has much more heart than any character in the entire Star Wars universe, and she is the first I genuinely cared about. Vivian Lyra Blair, who plays this character, does a surprisingly great job with her likability and charm and clever humor. She captures the beauty of the character and was the highlight of the show so far for me. I know people won't like me saying this, but she understood the character of Leia more with this one episode, maybe even one scene as young Leia, than every single other Princess Leia appearance combined. And also she was in Bird Box and The Guilty, so a great start to her career for sure. And also The Guilty is actually the first movie I reviewed on my channel, so go check that out. But one thing I have to talk about is why this show is so great in the first place. The writing is incredible, and I really mean truly incredible. The ongoing tension throughout the 2-episode premiere and how they kept the two storylines moving right after each other. The tension before they cut to the next scene, like revealing a dangerous figure waiting outside the princess's palace. The thing is, even though you know these two characters make it out due to their appearance in future movies, you still have this underlying suspense and feeling of, will these characters actually make it? So the stakes were created wonderfully, and the chemistry between Kenobi and Leia was so entertaining to watch. And the thing that kept the series going, and in my opinion is the reason why we have this show in the first place, is Kenobi's motive. He feels like he failed Anakin because he did, even though he was always destined for the dark side. But the fact that he gave up on himself and has to actively deal with what happened in the past, which is actually a great way to remind audiences of what happened in previous installments. But even Leia's adopted father tells Kenobi, you couldn't save Anakin, but at least save his daughter. And that's the thing that immediately changes his mind and convinces him to go rescue her. Obviously has some kind of regret and trauma from watching Anakin die, and his reaction when he finds out Anakin is still alive is 100% the most realistic thing that could happen. While writing this review, only the first 2 episodes came out, but I think from here on, his awareness of Anakin still being alive will change the entire direction for this show. However, halfway into this episode, I was like, Reva, I don't know how to say her character, I think Reva, I don't know, is a character who fights a bit recklessly and just wants what she doesn't have. So I was like, yeah, it's so obvious she's gonna kill the Inquisitor, because she seems much more motivated and aggressive in her actions, and even just her brief facial expressions towards the Inquisitor. And speaking of the Inquisitor, he was truly captivating, especially in the opening sequence with Benny Safdie, and I couldn't recognize him either. I love the Safdie brothers, I couldn't recognize him. I genuinely felt like I was in the moment with them, and I was too afraid to move or talk. Moses Ingram, who plays Reva, occasionally sucked at acting, and her cheesy lines didn't help either, but for the most part she was great. I have to clarify, she's been getting some racist comments. This has nothing to do with that. I just want to clarify, I do not hate her for that reason. I like her character, but her acting is horrible. I just want to clarify, that's the only reason why I don't like her, the only reason. Han from Fast and Furious is in this, and it's surprisingly good. I didn't even notice him a good number of times, but then I did, and every single time I saw him I was like, that's Han from the Fast and Furious movies. While Kumail Nanjiani's character was also slightly distracting. I put it lightly, Kumail's character is very distracting. It's like, he's basically Kumail, he's not even his character. But obviously that's what you gotta love that man, he's really likable. But another thing they nailed in this show is something that no one ever spoke about even once, and it's such an integral part to the immersiveness of the series. I visited the Star Wars land in Anaheim for the first time about a month back, and I just now realized how great of a job they did, because halfway in the series I was like, it kind of looks like Obi-Wan is walking through Disneyland right now. The costume and production design, especially in the first episode, was fantastic. And by the way, Star Wars Land is much cooler for Star Wars fans than Avengers Campus is for Marvel fans, so I'm really not I'm not over that. Obviously, the CGI in Star Wars projects are always incredible for some reason, and it was incredible in this one too. Also, the score is really good, and sound design was pretty much flawless, so I feel like I had to briefly include that in my review at least. But the Obi Wan Kenobi series is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I'm only a third of the way finished with the series as of writing this review. Out of all Marvel, DC, and Star Wars shows, I think that this is the top 3 along with WandaVision and Daredevil. But this is the reason why I think it's the best Star Wars project of all time, surpassing A New Hope. Don't get me wrong, A New Hope still has the best directing from any Star Wars project by far. Sorry, Bryce Dallas Howard. However, the reason I say Kenobi is better is because it's not as well made as The Mandalorian, but has a much stronger story, and it's better made than the Boba Fett series, and also has a much stronger and better written story. So the point is, I always review and rate movies by how well made they were and how well the story actually is overall. As of now, I consider the Obi Wan Kenobi series to be my favorite and best Star Wars project, and I hope it stays that way. This is where I'm going to be improvising because this is my favorite scene in the entire series. I spoke about this on my TikTok, Lumil on TikTok. In episode 3, I believe, is when Kenobi fights Vader, and this is a genuine moment. Like, Vader genuinely wants revenge, and Obi-Wan, literally, we see throughout this series, he's trying to avoid that. He's trying to avoid Anakin. Even before he knew he was alive, he tried to block that out, that trauma out. But Vader literally burns Obi-Wan with his lightsaber. That is literally so disturbing. This is the only time I have been scared of any Star Wars character ever. Vader was truly terrifying. Like, I never understood why people thought Vader was one of the best villains ever. I thought he was a pretty weak villain. Cool, but pretty weak. This episode alone, this sequence alone, oh my god, it does Vader so well. He is truly terrifying. He slaughters people just to get Obi-Wan's attention, and that's something he genuinely would do. And the cast has said that this is prime Vader, and I 100% believe that. The handheld shaky camera work when we're following Obi-Wan puts us in his shoes, and the fact that Vader just appears out of nowhere is genuinely so terrifying. Like, he's just sitting in the dark, the camera quickly whip pans over to him, and then when he's in the frame, it follows Vader. Like, he's in control the entire fight. And also, one of my favorite things, and it's really, this is how you know the people behind this show, both people in front and behind the camera, truly understand this character. The first time Obi-Wan used his lightsaber in the final fight, it wasn't this heroic moment. It was genuinely out of self-defense. Like, he was waving that thing around. He was genuinely terrified. I think Ewan McGregor did a fantastic job. I don't know why I'm holding it like this. I think Ewan McGregor did a fantastic job in portraying that state of mind. Overall, I love this series. I can't believe we're getting the 4th or 5th episode of Obi Wan Kenobi and the 1st episode of Ms. Marvel tonight. Also, Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 in 24 days. There's so much content. Make sure to subscribe and follow my TikTok, Lil Mill on TikTok. Also, my YouTube, Lil Mill. Thank you guys for watching. I just realized I could have started this review by saying hello there. It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground now! Oh my god.